And hello.
Hi.
This is the Doing It Productions kind of thing.
Doing It Productions podcast.
Sort of. Whatever you want to call it. This episode or this week, whenever.
So this is brought to you by Christmas hats
and
pine cones
and lights being up too long. Because I don't know when's the last time you can have Christmas lights up.
Dude, don't ask me. My Christmas tree has been up since last Christmas.
Okay. I guess you're not the authority on that one then. All right. This week we're gonna be talking about Metallica.
Yeah. The band.
The band, and I guess just like the new album, just because it's also something else to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck it.
So how'd you get into it? What started?
What, Metallica or the album?
Metallica. The album. Yeah.
My dad. Duh. It's actually a really funny story because like when I was a kid, like up until I was maybe like 8 or 10, like around that age, like I was not allowed to listen to the music that my dad listens to.
You weren't?
No.
Like outright?
Outright. Like I would like whenever, like we would still do it because
obviously,
like whenever it was just me and my dad in the car, like he didn't listen to anything else, so like I would still listen to it. But like I remember like when I was a kid, all I listened to was country music. That's what my mom. That's what my mom listened to.
Yeah.
You
also mentioned Prince.
Yeah, it was like country music and Purple Rain. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, that's not bad.
So like when I started getting older, like I started listening to my own shit.
Yeah.
And finding my own shit, and then like that sort of branched out into like what my dad listens to when it was like old 80s metal and hair metal. Like it was like the Metallica, the Megadeth, the Maiden, the Bon Jovi, the Rat, exactly. Oh, Rat is so good. But the Poison, like, yeah. So, like, I don't know. Like, that's, like, what I would listen to all through middle school.
Right,
And then, like, that's sort of, like, what I have always listened to forever.
And it's kind of funny, though, because we've been friends.
Since, like, 8th grade. Something like
that?
Yeah.
So, I already knew that you listened to them back then. Yeah. I actually didn't at that point.
Really?
Yeah, no, I didn't. So, So my interest in Metallica is kind of weird, but it mostly has to do with how I was introduced to music in the first place.
Okay.
Because my parents, they would listen, specifically my dad, was mostly like 80s and 70s, like disco and hip hop and like rock music. Like, U2, all the other shit.
Stones.
My mom never really had like a distinctive taste. She just kind of listened to whatever like Latin music was kind of playing at the time.
Yeah.
Nothing in particular.
Right.
But I never got introduced to like heavy music. That for me was always something kind of like scary and taboo because like I had 2 older cousins.
Yeah.
Who unfortunately I'm not like close to that much anymore. But I still like kind of know about them and what they do. And they were into like heavy music, like they had really long hair and they were metalheads.
Yeah.
And like they listened to Judas Priest and like all these other albums. And Maiden in particular. And so I just kind of knew it like in reference to like them. Right? And I was always like, oh, that's not my kind of music.
Right.
So, and then like when I started developing my own taste, it was mostly like radio shit. So like whatever was playing on the radio, hip hop, pop, whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing in particular. But I always had a through line of video game music introducing me to like certain artists.
Okay.
So like in particular like Tony Hawk's music, like that really like made me sort of want to listen to music that was like not just music that I was hearing like in particular.
Everywhere, yeah.
So it ended up being like punk, hip hop, and like some metal like in between.
Yeah.
And that was that throughout the years.
I remember Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 had Rage Against the Machine on it.
Yeah.
It was like Rage Against the Machine, Millen Collin, but it also had fucking Bring the Noise by like Anthrax and Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Bananas.
It was heavy shit. And then like years later, when Guitar Hero came out and when it was a thing, that introduced me to a bunch of other artists that I didn't particularly listen to, but I knew about.
Right.
AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, and then Metallica's One.
Wolf Mother,
yes. and then Metallica's One was prominently in that one, or was it in both that one and Rock Band?
And Metallica's One was in Guitar Hero 3.
And Rock Band?
No, Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman was. Okay.
Yeah.
So both songs
Yeah.
that were in the Black Album.
No, one was on Injustice for All.
Injustice. Man, I'm really shady on that.
No, it's okay, dude. I got you.
But so like I had like this reference of like what Metallica was.
Right.
So when I actually bought my drum set, one of the first things to learn how to play was the intro to Enter Sandman.
Duh.
And Down with the Sickness.
Down with the Sickness, yeah.
by wow, I forgot their
Disturbed.
name. By Disturbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then from there, like I started branching out, and then like I feel like everybody who's ever gotten into like heavier like metal music, they always get into the phase where like it needs to be harder, it needs to be faster, it needs to be more this, it needs to be more that. And that's when I started getting into deeper Metallica, and then you start hitting
like thrash Metallica,
like thrash Metallica,
Kill 'Em All,
and Master.
For Whom the Bell Tolls, not For Whom the Bell Tolls, that album, Ride the Lightning.
Yeah, and then Master, and then you're like, whoa, Battery, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Damage Inc., what the fuck is that?
Dyer's Eve, what the fuck is that? Yeah.
So then that was my introduction, and that's how like I sort of like grew into liking Metallica.
Hit the mic. But yeah, I mean, like for me, like what's it called? The Black Album came out like what 91.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like what my dad would listen to. Like,
right. That's right up around.
And then like then Load and Reload came out, and my dad was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" My dad was one of those guys that was like, "This is too mainstream." Yeah. And he's like, and then Saint Anger came out, and everyone hated Metallica for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Death Magnetic came out, and everyone's like, Metallica's alright.
Death Magnetic was actually the first album that I remember like really like looking for and like buying.
Yeah.
Like I obviously have like scattered memories of other albums like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But this was one that like I was like, oh man, Metallica's making a new album.
Yeah.
And then you hear like what was the first single?
My Apocalypse.
Day Never Comes?
No, My Apocalypse was the first single.
Was the first one?
I think so.
I feel like Day Never Comes was one of them.
It was one of the singles.
Because it had a music video.
It was Cyanide, Day That Never Comes, and My Apocalypse were the 3 singles.
Okay, cool. So by the time like the album was gonna come out, like you already heard these songs, so you already kind of knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
And this was like, oh man, Metallica sounds like they're back.
Yeah.
Like especially from Saint Anger until then, you're like, oh man, they're coming back. And then I remember I got the album. I actually took it to one day in high school, like in my history class. I had some other friends, Joe, Jeffrey, and I think Marlon. And the whole time we were just like talking about like, oh man, like this album is so good. And I had it when we looked at it, and I actually showed it to my history teacher, who at the time was an old metalhead. He lived in LA like in the 80s, and he remember seeing Maiden and all these other people. Yeah. And he was like, really, they're back? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, this was pretty good. And I'm like, it's pretty good. Yeah. And then I also saw them on the tour.
Yeah, we all did.
We both did. Actually.
Me, you, and Jose did, but all separately.
all in entirely separate places in the venue.
Yeah, like I think you and Jose both had like semi nosebleeds.
Jose, I think did. I was like in the hundreds. So
so was I. Like
I was just like right above where you were. No, because weren't you in the pit?
No, I was in the pit. I was in the 100s.
Okay, then
I was like on like the direct center of the stage.
I was a little bit offhand.
Yeah.
I was a little bit like off to the side. Mm-hmm. Closer to like one of the entrances to the 100s.
Right, yeah.
But still, it was, experience.
Good show.
It was probably the first concert experience that like I can remember vividly for having.
I tell people that's my first concert because my first concert's embarrassing.
What is it?
I went to see Nickelback.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full circle.
But
how'd you see Nickelback?
3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin were opening up for him, which is who I wanted to see. At the time, even then, I was like, Nickelback's like that band, you know?
What era Nickelback is this?
This was
Is this before what the fuck was the song called?
Photograph? Photograph? It was the album for Photograph.
Okay.
But like they didn't play Photograph and they didn't play Rockstar. It was that era too.
Okay.
Hey, I wanna be a rock star.
So it was right before like they became like
a meme,
basically, or like a joke in themselves.
Honestly, that album has some fucking bangers on it.
Nickelback, I mean, for all it's panned out to be, it's still a solid rock band. They still crank it out.
I want you to, anyone's listening to this, listen to "Side of a Bullet" by Nickelback.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Like you wouldn't be able to tell that was Nickelback until he started singing. And even then, it's heavy. Like it's heavy
until the Chad comes in.
Yeah, bring the Chad in.
Yeah, let him lay down the vocals.
Anyway, this is a Metallica podcast.
It's gonna change themes if you don't already know this.
Yeah, like we have our scatterbrained as fuck.
But so Metallica was like one of like the first concerts that we kind of went to.
Yeah,
it was early in our concert going like
our careers. Yeah. It was really, really good. I remember they played. That was the first time they had played Shortest Straw in like 10 years.
Oh my god! Right?
Yeah.
And then, so this is, I think, was this around the time that the video game came out?
Yes.
So this is also around the time when like a lot of people were like obviously they had a resurgence because of Death Magnetic, people were talking about them again.
Mm-hmm.
But with the video game, a lot of people were starting to get into like the deeper cuts, like Dyer's Eve, Short Straw,
fucking Motor Breath.
Motor Breath, yeah. So like now is when they started pulling out like the older cuts like in live shows.
They played Whiplash when we saw them, didn't they?
I feel like it.
I know they played Killing Time when we saw them, and I was
like,
what?
Didn't they have like a medley?
No, I think it was just Killing Time. But they played every show on that tour. They played a different song from the Garage Days.
Yeah.
So like some days they would play Overkill, some days they would play Killing Time, some days they would play The Small Hours. Like it was weird.
Yeah.
But like I remember because like at the time for some reason I was really into that song, really into that song.
Yeah.
And I remember like
they played.
I remember he was like, "This is the part of the show where we pay tribute to the bands that inspired us," and I was like, "Oh, cool! They're gonna play a song from Garage Days. It's probably gonna be like Stone Cold Crazy or like one of those like popular ones." Right. And he started the drum intro to Killing Time, and I was like, "Woo!"
Oh my God, they're me. They like me. Yeah. They're doing it for me alone.
I also remember a vivid memory from that show. There was a point where he was like, "What do you guys want to hear next?"
Yeah.
And there was this one guy. He pointed one guy in the crowd. And he was like, "What do you want to hear, man?" And he was like, "I love you." And he was like, "I love you too. What do you want to hear?"
Yeah, James has a lot of good banter.
He's so funny. Like,
but yeah, like, I remember them playing Dyer's Eve. So this is right when everybody was like getting into deeper cuts in the video game, and we're like, "Oh my God, I don't think they've ever played this song." And it's true, they hadn't played it in like
10 years.
Yeah, in like a long ass time.
It was a long fucking time.
And I mean, if you go back to the audio, they were missing some lyrics, maybe.
I mean, they skipped it. Well, I mean, like intentionally, but they skipped an entire part. And when they play Four Horsemen live, they skipped the weird like slow guitar solo that I'm pretty sure like they were just like, Dave,
we don't need that.
Dave, do your thing.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what, I love them anymore. I love them more for it.
Yeah.
For even attempting it, because God damn, was that a hard song?
Yeah, it's fucking hard as shit.
Like not even just like the drums and like the guitar, but like singing it. Also,
singing and playing it at the same time.
Pain in the ass.
Like the riff is it's so offset, like dun 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 dun. Like to sing
it's really
it with
rhythmic,
yeah, and to sing that with like a very steady vocal track.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it doesn't follow the guitar at all.
It fucks you up.
He is an incredible musician. Like James Hetfield is
like for even like getting through it is hard.
One of the tracks on the new album actually that sort of surprises me that he can do live is fucking Moth to a Flame.
Oh my God.
Like holy shit.
Yeah.
That guitar riff and the vocals at the same time is bananas.
It's really good. It's so good.
Yeah. So let's actually talk about the new album, yeah?
Oh, wait. Before we get off this, I just want to make sure because we always bring this up whenever we mention the concert. Mm-hmm. Jose left early before they did Seek and Destroy.
Yeah, what a fucking noob. Fuck you, Jose.
Nah, his dad wanted to get out, parking, whatever. They didn't know there was going to be an encore.
How do you not know there's going to be an encore, though?
I don't know, man.
There's always an encore.
You know, whatever. Point being is, him and I think a friend of mine, a friend of mine stuck around. And she got one of the balloons, actually.
Yeah. I remember I saw like a small child with it, and I was like, I could easily take this from you.
I will crush your dreams.
It's like I will end your life for this balloon.
for this balloon alone. So, Seek and Destroy is amazing. I'm really sorry you missed it, Jose.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah. So the new album.
Do you want to show you like a track by track? Have you listened to the whole thing?
I've listened to most of it. I've listened to the first half for sure.
Yeah, the first half is the good half. It's like the first half and Spit Out the Bone.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the album.
I'm not gonna go track by track, but I just want to talk about like briefly some of the things that like stick out to you the most. One of them being is this feels like an extension of like this awakening that they sort of had with Death Magnetic, where it's like they sort of just went back to what they know they can pull off well.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that you say that because I remember reading an article and apparently this album was 100% written by James and Lars. 100%.
Really?
Yeah, solos and everything.
Wait, like guitar solos?
Yeah. Kirk had no say in anything. Which Kirk was like,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I like the solos in this one better.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And like that's why these solos are not. I'm not gonna say they're amazing, but like the solo in Dream No More,
yes,
so fucking good. Probably the best one on the album in my opinion.
Yeah. But I mean, like I don't know who I was talking about this to, but I was like, yeah, the solos in this one are like so much better than like what they've been playing before. Like they don't abuse the wah pedal. This is such a new thing.
Yeah, it's because James wrote it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I feel a little guilty now.
I feel guilty, but like, he's like, in the interview, he was like, yeah, I had to come to terms with it. And I'm like, I'm not
Wait,
happy about it. Kirk.
Really?
He was like, I have to come to terms with it. I'm not happy about it, but like the album's selling really well, so yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can tell though, because it sounds like fucking, what's it called? Like, there's a lot of songs that are reminiscent of a lot of different eras of Metallica.
Yeah, that's
eras
also
that Kirk
too.
did not have a lot to do with.
Yeah, you know that's also true. Like a lot of these songs are, like I said, they feel like an extension of Death Magnetic, but they definitely seem to like capture something even more.
Yeah.
In their history, in like their back catalog.
Well, we talked about the fact that Hardwired and Master of Puppets are the same riff.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned that structurally.
Structurally, so the riff for Metallica or for Master of Puppets is the and then is the chorus. So the riff for Hardwired is the it's the same chord progression, except it's not a chord. They're just doing like single notes, and there's no pause in it.
Right.
So the chorus for Master Puppets is and then the chorus for Hardwired is like like it's the same progression.
Right.
There's just like it's just written differently, so people like unless you know how to play the songs, you couldn't tell. Yeah. It's also in standard key, whereas Master Puppets is a half step down. Yeah.
And it's actually something that when you point that out to me, it's like, I'm not sure if I see it, and then you literally showed it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same. I'm not saying it's the same song, but like
it's got elements. It's got things that are very similar.
Yeah. It's like I said, very old Metallica.
Yeah, I would say it produces a lot of the same feelings that you get when you hear Master and like all these other really classic Metallica songs.
I would say like not necessarily Master of Puppets as the song, but that Hardwired makes me, it's more reminiscent of like Trapped Under Ice.
Yeah.
Like in tempo and in the way it makes you like feel like the franticness of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very Trapped Under Ice, which is this an album before Master of Puppets.
Yeah, it's enlightening. Yeah. It's at the end.
Yeah. So, I don't know. And like Hardwired was obviously the first single. Yeah. So I remember when we first listened to it, you were like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know either. And then I listened to it a couple more times and I was like, all right.
And you're like, no. Go back.
Yeah, listen to it a couple more times. And then I showed you the live version of it. Yeah. Where they play it a half step down. And it sounds like more just like, like more like, angry.
It has a, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has the James that you want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like, and the thing is, like, I get it now. Because, like, if they were to record that version and put it on the record, it wouldn't be as good. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like recording wise, it makes sense to do in the standard key because it fits the rest of the album really well. I don't know why, but like if they were to do that song in a half step down, it wouldn't mesh well with the rest of the record. But that's just my opinion. Like,
that's interesting. Actually, I haven't thought about that.
Because it goes right into Atlas. Yeah. Which has like a really like not important, but has a really distinctive like intro, which is also not a half step down if I'm not mistaken. So it just like it wouldn't flow well, you know what I mean? It was just like for the sake of pacing on the record. But like when they play it live and they're trying to like throwing it in between like Master of Puppets and like Enter Sandman, both of those songs are a half step down.
It's gonna be heavy.
It's gonna be a half step down. That way they don't have to like switch guitars,
which they do regardless. But you get the point.
Yeah. And also just it sounds better live, half step down. I would say it's also easier. Yeah. On the voice, so like whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go like jump into those high range that he usually does whenever he records. Yeah. Which is whatever. It's a choice.
A lot of people do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they have like the luxury of.
Yeah, of like tweaking it for a live show, and that's the thing. Like endurance, especially like at their age, endurance is obviously gonna fail. So, like, to make yourselves and the show easier without making it worse is not a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, you have to go for efficiency, especially when it's a long show.
Yeah, I mean, like, they put on, like, 2-hour shows.
Yeah, 2-hour sets, yeah. It's crazy. I want to talk about Halo No More just because that's the one song that, for some odd reason, just really got me back. Yeah? Yeah, and it's weird because I always have this thing where it's like, I really don't like the fake acoustic tones, like when people use that effect.
Oh my god, I love it.
I really don't. I don't know what it is. And it's not even because like, an acoustic would sound better, because it would really take you out of it. It would feel really weird. But I'm not crazy about that like weird tone that it kind of has. I'm just not.
I love it. I think it's like really not out of place, but it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, it's just a weird texture that I'm not crazy about. That's just like a personal choice, though.
I think it more so. Are you more so like upset by like the tone of the actual guitar or like the actual chords?
The tone, just the tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I said,
because the rest of it is beautiful.
The way it's written, in like that weird like minor, like not even a minor, it's like a diminished minor, whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last chord in the progression, and it's just it's beautiful and
right?
like creepy. Like,
yeah, to me it was very reminiscent of like the Unforgiven saga thing that got going on,
or even The Thing That Should Not Be.
Yeah, which is really one of my favorite songs on there.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's funny. One of the things I want to talk about is how like they have this like really weird trend. It's not weird, like I know why they do it, but like every record they have like not like a what's his name, Lovecraft.
Yeah, yeah,
like
a
very like Lovecraftian like theme for their like one of their songs.
Yeah,
like for Death Magnetic, it was All Nightmare Long.
Yeah,
it was Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, but that's like a thing that's been like a part of their like DNA since like the inception of.
Well, you know why, right?
Yeah, Cliff.
Because of Cliff, and like they do it as like to honor Cliff.
Yeah.
But in this record, it was Spit Out the Bone.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know if you know what that song's about. If you listen to the lyrics,
not really.
That song is about like the machines taking over.
Oh.
That song is about like that's why like the first lyrics I believe are, come unto me and you will feel perfection. Come unto me and dedicate. It's like. Come unto me, I'll save you from rejection. Come unto me and terminate. And then like, so one of the things that like James does really well in his like song, has the lyric writing, is he'll take like anchor words.
Yeah.
Like in that song in particular, it's terminate and dedicate.
Yeah.
So like what that song is it's essentially propaganda by the machines to sort of convince human beings to like sort of become
join
machines
them,
instead of
whatever.
like one of the things is like remove your heart, it's only good for bleeding.
Oh.
That's like so it's like they have all these songs like and almost every record they have a song that's very Lovecraftian and sort of like horror based.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And like just like that sort of thing is always like that sort of subject matter has always really interested me. And that song, by the way, that song, best song on the record. Easily.
Yeah,
me.
I know. You,
like,
you and Jose were like, this song.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. Like just the beginning, just like it just balls to the wall the entire fucking song.
There's a couple of songs. I'm gonna go back to the track list real quick,
yeah,
just because I'm trying to like rack my brain around which other songs I really like from that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we could talk about like how much we like Metallica, but this is definitely a really interesting point in their career.
Yeah.
Because now, obviously, even in Death Magnetic, it was like, oh man, these are like the forefathers of like thrash. And like heavy and metal music. But now it's like they have enough gravitas where they do like they literally go country to country.
Yeah.
You know, they don't even have to do like a state, like a city by city tour. They could just go here, boom, and then pop up in other places. But they still want to make music that like sort of challenges them in terms of like performance and writing.
Absolutely.
But it still gives you the urge to, you know, mosh or do whatever you do when you hear the music.
Yeah. That's why like I'll like listen to a lot of songs on this record and be like, Lars, you can't play that.
yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ties into the fact that like they're, you know, performers first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like more so musicians, they're performers.
Yeah.
Like, and they always have been. And like they've pushed themselves as performers in more than just like songwriting. Like they made that movie, like they do like all this crazy shit to the point where like they are in the negative. Like that's why they like wrote this album. Like because they're like that movie bombed. Like a lot of the stuff they're doing bombed, and like they're like in the what's it called, Blackened Records, like this record label they started. Not doing amazing.
I mean, I don't know what they're putting out on that.
I don't know either. I mean, they put out the new record on it, obviously. So like they're in the negative. So like it's just kind of interesting to see them make a lot of choices that like I don't know. Like they made, I don't know if they did it intentionally or just how it worked out, but like they made this record super fucking long, and they like immediately released it on vinyl. Yeah. So they made it a dual LP.
Yeah. Yeah, that was also something that really bugged me out. Like if you were to stream it, if you were to like catch it anywhere online, the way it's like structured, it's not like
it's
1 through 8.
It's 2 6-song sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has been happening with actually a couple more albums, and it kind of bugs me out because I'm like, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
But then, like you see, it's like, oh, they're gonna release it on this, and it's like, okay, I could see why they would structure it this way, because that's how you would ingest the music, sort of, like in this batch and that batch, instead of just like, oh, this is how you would hear it streaming, and this is how you would hear it in other mediums, which would change the flow of the album.
Right. I don't know, man. I just.
Final thoughts, though.
On the record, as a whole, I think it's amazing. Like, I think it's like really, really, really good. Like, even like the songs that like I wasn't immediately struck by, like fucking Confusion and what is the other one? Murder One. I have a theory that Murder One's about Lemmy, but like,
oh shit, because
there's a lyric in there that says born to lose, live to win.
Yeah.
So like,
maybe. I mean, who knows?
But I haven't listened to it enough to be like, yeah, this is definitively about Lemmy.
This was maybe written though before he passed though. Because Lemmy passed away in December. The record didn't come out till November, so they had enough time to write and record a song. But I mean, like, I'm just trying to think of like production wise, like how much stuff they have to do before the album came out. Because this album came out
the song came out in November.
Yeah, it came out in November. Yeah. So as far as pre-production goes, they probably wrapped up around the beginning of the year, maybe. Because they have
like
to
writing, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about like recording.
Yeah.
Like they're probably doing mixing like way into like the spring, and then they did all like the recording of the music videos and like the promotion and the album and then all these like packaging shit throughout the summer to release in because all the stuff is done in like stages.
Right.
So maybe it was about him. Maybe it was right around that time, but who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it could have been because like, he was like not healthy for a long time.
Oh, for sure. He was already,
he was on his way out.
Yeah. But just as a last thing though, also like just about Lemmy, I don't know if you've seen it, I think I sent it to you. It was his last interview, quote unquote.
Yeah, you showed it to me.
It was on Noisy's YouTube page. They have this interview series called Guitar Moves with this guy called Matt Sweeney. Yeah. It's really good. He just goes around talking to different guitarists and people who play, particularly just rock music, just in general. Yeah. And he just kind of like fangirls, and he goes and he figures out like what makes their style of playing and their songs like different. Yeah. And it just so happened that he ended up being Lemmy's last thing. And they talk about bass and all the other shit. And I think the one quote that always stuck out to me was, I think at one point he just kind of asked him, he's like, oh, why the bass? And he's like, oh, I don't play the bass. I just play the rhythm guitar. It just happens to be on a bass. Yeah. Yeah. And he's just like,
yeah, I mean, whoa. And if you listen to Motorhead, duh.
Yeah,
like every popular Motorhead song starts with a bass intro. Yeah. Like Ace of Spades, Overkill,
which are the same songs.
Which are the same song. It's funny. Like there's a really funny video. I don't know. I'm not gonna look for it, but there's a funny video where literally like Lemmy is playing like Whackin' or something, like this huge metal festival. Like Motorhead's playing, and then like the intro to Overkill starts.
Starts with the drums.
Yeah.
And then he has to start playing.
And then everyone starts playing, and then the lyrics come in, and he's like, if you like to gamble. I'm just like...
And everybody's like, Lemmy.
It's like, Lemmy, what's happening? It's just like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, maybe he's like being funny. And then like it gets to like the part where he's like, the bridge to the chorus comes in, and you can see in his face, he's like, oh, I fucked up, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think sort of like as an ongoing joke, but mostly like as a fuck up, whatever. Whenever we've played like Overkill, just like on a car or whatever. I always fuck up the lyrics, just because it just happens.
It's the same song. Yeah, a lot of Motorhead songs they're good, but they're not very different. You know what I mean? They had a formula. They wrote with that formula, and it worked. Whatever.
But point being is. That interview is really, really touching, and it's really cool. Yeah, especially there's a part. It's funny because one of the things that stuck with me is he asked what's the difference between rock and roll and metal. Yeah. Right, and then playing wise, and he's like, the metal there's no upstrokes. Yeah. And rock and roll is upstrokes, and he plays the same riff but with a downstroke, with all downstrokes and with with upstrokes. Yeah. And then it's just like,
oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Like he was very, very insightful as a musician. It was really, it was funny.
It was so good.
It was really, really, for someone who wrote music that was very like, I want to fuck little girls.
Allegedly, I don't know.
Well, like listen to Jailbait.
I know, but that's just a song he wrote. You don't know. That.
Yeah, and it was, you know.
We don't got the details. We don't got the facts.
Well, like there's a Lemmy quote where he's like, rock and roll's about writing music, you know. That's why my music's about rock and roll and UFOs. Wow. Like it is true. Like if you listen to a lot of his shit, like he talks about UFOs a lot. Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. That's Lemmy. But yeah, we're just gonna wrap things up.
This is a Metallica podcast.
This is a Metallica podcast. But go listen to the album if we convince you otherwise. It's a good metal album.
Okay,
it's a good rock album. It's a good Metallica album.
Yeah, pick two songs. To be like, if you want to get into this record, listen to these songs.
Hail of Fire, Moth into the Flames.
Okay, I was gonna pick Atlas Rise and Spit Out the Bone.
Yeah,
4 songs for you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Go check that shit out.
Boom.
Listen to Spit Out the Bone first.
Yeah, but didn't they do like a music video for like each song? Or something like
every
that?
song has a music video.
Boom, there you go.
Halo on Fire's music video is dope as fuck.
Yeah,
cause you know like it has this like pseudo ballad in the beginning.
Yeah. And
then like it shows like this woman like walking through the street with like a hoodie on and she's all bruised or whatever. It's like, oh my god, this is gonna be sad. And then it kicks into that like super heavy riff and ending, and it come to find out she's in a fight club, and I'm like, damn!
You're like, whoa!
Yeah, it's really fucking cool.
But yeah, so
listen to Metallica.
Yeah, we like Metallica, so do it.
Listen to all Metallica, kids. Oh wait, okay, no, end note.
End note. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because my manager does this to me all the time at work. He's like, I'm gonna give you a band. You have to pick a favorite record and a favorite song.
Shit.
Okay, Metallica. Favorite record, favorite song.
Favorite record, just on, I mean, here's my problem. Also, I haven't really gone back to listen to Metallica in years.
Yeah.
So, like, definitive, probably favorite record would maybe be Justice.
Yeah.
It has its flaws in terms of like mixing and other shit, but
songwriting wise, it's a really amazing album.
Songwriting wise, it's also like the heaviest. Not the. I mean, I'm not gonna say the heaviest.
It's also incredibly political.
It's hugely political.
Yeah.
But I think it's them at the height of the power. Like,
yeah.
It's them like flexing as hard as they fucking can.
Yeah.
Like Lars literally going on all cylinders.
Yeah.
The
absolutely.
riffs being as hard and like
just fast
and difficult as they can be.
They're just fast.
And fast.
Those songs like are blistering.
And they're long.
Yeah.
Long as fuck.
Yeah.
But
like Blackened. Blackened is an
amazing oh my god, it's a fucking odyssey.
Yeah.
But so that one probably.
Yeah.
And however, favorite song, Creeping Death.
Yeah, Creeping Death. Favorite song, easily.
Yeah.
The song's amazing.
It's
like that song. That song's amazing.
When you see it live, you change.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, you're not the same person you were when you walked into there.
Yeah. They played it live, I think, when we saw them.
Actually, I don't think they did.
I don't remember.
I don't think they did play it. But I mean, like, fucking you can like watch
you can find
Seattle '89.
Yes. I literally ripped that entire album, and I have a version of it on my old iPod.
I know. We've listened to it before.
Yeah.
But favorite album is probably Puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah, only because I really like Disposable Heroes. It's an amazing song. Yes. I really
that actually came back to me years later, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like, it's so stupid. Yeah. Obviously, Battery, amazing song. Yeah. And Damage Incorporated is actually, like, a close second for favorite song. Like, yeah. Because, like, it's just like, oh, wow, this song's really fast. It's really cool. Ha, ha, ha. And then, like, the final verse kicks in. It's just like, and I was like, whoa, what's happening?
It's like, I always, like, in my head, it's like the equivalent of, like, seeing somebody just like kick that knob, that gear into like the final step.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah, it's like putting like you're watching a Fast and the Furious movie and it kicks into like ninth gear.
Yeah, it's like, and you're like, and you're just going with it.
Yeah,
just going with it.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was Metallica. Let us know.
Let us know if you like us talking about other shit.
And if you watch this and want to hear.
We're probably going to talk about like other music.
Suggest a topic, suggest a band or a movie that you want to hear us.
Or maybe other topics in general, because we also like talking about other shit.
Like politics.
Wow.
I don't like politics.
I hate it.
I mean, like, I hate it as a concept, but I enjoy talking about it and like educating people that don't understand politics.
I like talking about it, but I don't like to feel like I'm lecturing, mostly because I hate the idea of trying to like give people like something that they should be making up on their own?
Well, it's not so much like these are my beliefs and you should believe this, but this is how the government works, type of thing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Some things are facts.
Yeah, some this is how this shit works.
But yeah, I also we would like to talk about other shit. But point being is, Metallica, they're great. Go listen to them.
Like if you're listen to Metallica. They changed my life.
Yeah.
Like actually, like
yeah.
when it comes to like people give Lars Ulrich a lot of shit, but
Totally.
him and Nico McBrain were the reason I started playing drums.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
And then like obviously like it changes as it goes on, but like the reason why I picked up a pair of sticks is like Nico McBrain and Lars Ulrich.
Word. With that, find us Doing It Gaming on YouTube,
Twitter,
Instagram, Twitter.
We have an Instagram now.
Yeah, we made it.
Shit,
we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Hey, see that's what we did it. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, see you.
Bye.